everyone, I'm Jennifer, the host of Ikigai with Jennifer Shinkai, where we're going to talk about the Japanese concept of Ikigai, or living a life of purpose. Here you're going to hear inspirational stories from all different types of people who are finding their own life of purpose. You're going to hear about how they found their Ikigai and what they do every day to live an integrated life. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to wherever you are in the world listening to Ikigai with Jennifer Shinkai. I'm your host, Jennifer Shinkai, and I'm so excited to have with me today Koji Tokumasu, who you're going to find out all about his story. So I'm not going to introduce him, but what I will tell you about Koji is that actually I have a special accessory on today. I don't know if you can see them if you're watching. They are little rugby balls, which I was given during the Rugby World Cup, which Koji knows something about. Yeah. My family came to Japan for the Rugby World Cup from the UK. They're rugby mad. And we had a touch rugby kind of like friendship event with the Sumidoku Touch Rugby Club. And one of the members gave me these little earrings. So I thought I would wear them today in honor of you and your achievements, Koji. But I first met Koji just a couple of weeks ago at the 200-year anniversary of rugby in Japan. There was an event with rugby school, head teacher was there, and Koji made this amazing, funny, entertaining speech about his story. And afterwards, I just went up to him and said, that was brilliant. What an amazing story. Please be on my podcast. And I was delighted that he said, okay, sure. What's your podcast about? And then we had a couple of chats around it. And his story is so fascinating, from the first time that he moved to the UK. He spent time in Wales. And then, of course, bringing a couple of pivots in his career, bringing the Rugby World Cup to Japan, and like where he is now. Like, what do you do after you achieve such an amazing goal? And how does that contribute to different feelings of Ikigai in your life? So we've got so much to talk about, so many exciting things. But Koji has a diary entry around. This is such an amazing book. If you're watching on YouTube, maybe you can hold it up to the camera so on YouTube people can see it. This maybe Koji, you can introduce what this is.
Thank you, Jennifer. This is Koji Tokumasu speaking today as your guest, and then today I'm having one diary book written back in 1977. If something happened to my house, fire or something, or earthquake, this is the book I will run away with me. Because this is, you can't buy, and it's all handwritten memory of what happened in 1977. No, not yet.
You need to, Koji. It's so important. Okay. So important. Yeah.
It started August 26, 1977. Okay, 2 years before that, actually before that, when I was a student, I was always wanted to go abroad, but I had no money to go. And one day I said to myself, when time comes, I want to go abroad. 1975, the Welsh rugby team came to Japan, and I watched the game in Osaka. It was such a beautiful rugby they showed. First time I've seen that beautiful rugby. So I said to myself, now this is the place I want to go and learn rugby and how to coach rugby, like this kind of beautiful rugby. But then I worked another 2 years to get some money, and the day comes 1977, I decided to go to Wales without any introduction, any plan. I just jumped onto the Pakistan International Airline. And then, as this diary says, I went to, maybe you can say it. Can you say it?
We'll get a picture of it later.
Okay, anyway, from Tokyo, Peking, Rawalpindi, Damascus, Athens, Rome, finally Copenhagen. Took me 32 hours to get to Copenhagen by stopping 5 places. But this is the cheapest way for me at that time. At that time, £1 cost 500 yen.
What?
$1. Yeah, but it was fixed 100, 500, sorry, 500 yen.
Yeah.
And then US dollar is 360 yen. It's all fixed rate.
Mm.
So for me, it is important how to not to spend any money in UK, and then so that I can stay longer.
Yeah.
But first place, the reason I went to Copenhagen is because at that time, you remember there's a hippie was very popular. Hippie people went to UK with only one-way ticket and getting and then do some work. And British government was very concerned about more young people like hippie just coming to UK because they're always suffering from unemployment. So they don't want to have young people from abroad to get more work. I heard that if you go to Heathrow, they're strict. They're very strict on entry. So some of the young people was rejected to even get into UK or gave us only 1 week stay.
Right.
But then I checked all the details and found out if I go to Copenhagen and there's a cruise boat from Denmark to UK, getting to the place called Harwich Bay, Harwich Port from Denmark, must be the checking was not as strict as London Heathrow.
Nice.
So that's two reasons. That's one reason. Another reason I just want to have a look at Copenhagen, Denmark, before I went to Wales.
And just a reminder to everyone who's listening, you know, this is 1977. It's the year I was born. There was no internet. So you're researching all of this through talking to people, newspapers, books. Like, how are you getting this up-to-date information? Friends of friends?
Very, very interesting. Yeah. There is one group in Japan called YAC, Young Abroad Club. Abroad Club.
Right.
I joined the club and they send us some of the experience of a booklet of those who went before monthly. Right. So that's only booklet I got it. But then
like a print newsletter kind of thing.
Yes.
Wow.
And also I went to Denmark embassy and then I found out which youth hostels are available and what sort of a boat is going from Denmark to UK. So I had to go there as well. So yeah, that was the only way. But there's no way I could even book it beforehand. At that time, if you write a letter, it took 1 week to get there. So return is took 2 weeks to get reply.
If it comes immediately, right? So yeah, I just want to like remind people now. You go, oh yeah, I'm going to go to Wales to learn how like beautiful Welsh rugby is played. It's so easy. But in 1977, it's like a huge undertaking to get the information in English, by letters, by talking to people, all the different things. So I just want to acknowledge that commitment to your dream.
Yes, thank you for this.
You arrived there.
I arrived.
Established September 3rd, which was my birthday. You were on the move.
3rd of September.
What was happening? I'll be very nosy here. Where do I fit in Koji's story?
Okay, 3rd of September, I arrived UK from Denmark. It's a day.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I arrived in the UK as well on September the 3rd.
So were you born on this day?
Born on September the 3rd, yeah.
Oh, coincidence.
There we go. So
okay.
go in.
And then I went to London immediately from Harwich Airport. And by the way, when I got to the Harwich on the 3rd of September, I was wearing very nicely and then gave a passport to the custom, and they just picked custom and they said, "Oh, I'm allowed to get in. How long? 6 months." So I said, "Well, I done
no hippie here. No hippie here."
So my ploy works. My strategy works. I got
Were you secretly a hippie, Koji?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the 6 weeks stay was allowed, so I jumped. And they were well done to myself. I went to London by train and then I stayed in London a couple of days by staying youth hostel. But to make it short, I didn't see any rugby in London. They're all playing football. So I said, oh, I have to hurry up to go to Wales to see rugby before my money runs out. So I took a train from Paddington Station to Cardiff. Before I jump on, I bought a book called Where to Stay in Wales. And then I was reading a book on the train, and then where's the cheapest place to stay in Cardiff? And then one stay place came to my eyes. Oh, this is Cardiff University dormitory. It's only £2 per night, 1,000 yen at that time, whereas others is a £4, £5, £6 per night, even cheapest place. So I said, oh, this is the place I want to stay. So when I got off from the Cardiff station, I rang up. My English was not so good, but I rang up to the university dormitory. May I stay at your place? And the lady, the receptionist, says, "Have you booked?" No, I just came from Japan today. I'm sorry. Oh, no. There's no way you can stay because you need a book. So goodbye, good luck. And then tone was stopped. And then, oh, Jesus. So I walked around Cardiff. I actually went to Cardiff Arms Park Stadium to have a look. 1 hour later, I just said to myself, okay, let's try again because there must be a different receptionist may say something different. So I called up again with dial. But like mobile telephone, I had to put coin and dial. And then the same lady turned up and said, there's no way, I'm sorry, same story. And then normally, if I don't remember why I did that, but after that, I walked another hour to the Cardiff city and said to myself, compare with other places, this university is so cheap. So let's try again. Let's try again. Just in case. So I just called up without thinking too much. Hello. And the same lady turned up. Oh, you're again. Okay, you won. You can stay at our house today. Jump on the bus number 57 and come to the university. Oh, I did it. So that was the story of my first day in Cardiff. It is written in this diary. How did it happen?
Yeah. And I just think that's a wonderful example of your persistence to make something happen, like being very aware of those limitations. So have there been other times in your life when that pattern has shown up?
Yeah, it is an interesting question because before just Rugby World Cup 2019 was going to happen in 2019 August, I received one email came to my PC when I was very busy handling email from ambassadors and VIPs. And one email, my name is Ethan. I'm 14 years old. I'm from Australia. And then it says, I am going to be a referee in the future. So can I referee one of the curtain raiser game during World Cup? I'm going to Japan with my dad. So that's email came in.
Yeah.
So but I was so busy, so I just forget about it. I have no time to do that. 2 or 3 days later, the same email came. My name is Ethan. I'm 14 years old. Came from Australia. But again, I was so busy. Let's Robbie. 3 days later, on Friday, I'm like, okay, you are in. I remember what happened to me. You are in. Okay, I'll find a place for you to referee. So that persistence, it gave me, he must have something special. He's so passionate. I want to help this person. He may be a future international referee. And something will happen. Yeah, so he has never given up. So I want to help. So I wrote, I just said using my Facebook and the internet saying, hey, there's a boy from Australia. Can you help him? And I have got 60 responses from various clubs. Wow. So he was able to referee 1 or 2 games during Japan. Yeah, World Cup. So yeah, so this is my rule now. Once, twice, 3 times, and if it doesn't happen, you have to forget about it.
But at least ask 3 times. Yeah, I think so many people don't ask once because they assume the answer is going to be no. There's no way. There's no way I'll get to like referee. Yeah, there's no way they'll have a space tonight. I won't even bother asking. So we don't even ask once, most of us. And then to actually, silence isn't a rejection. It's important to know. You know, in Ethan's case, but you know, no, sorry, you can't stay. Sorry, you can't stay. Try one more time. I think that's a great just reminder that if it's worth it and you're serious about it, don't give up. And it's not always, people not responding to your email doesn't mean, or your call, like it doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means you're not on their list of priorities, right? So
exactly.
keep bumping yourself up, and then you'll get an answer. But at least you asked, at least you tried. And,
at least you can show how passionate you are, how you're dreaming of that. Then people judge you, or this person has something different. Maybe if you write to wrong person, he might say, oh, just he doesn't do anything. But if you happen to write the right person, he will react.
Yeah, and maybe it's a good reminder for all of us as well who receive those emails to be like, maybe I can be the person who gives this person the chance. Like you said, you know, maybe this person will become an international referee. And just like the lady at the Cardiff University dormitory was like, maybe she didn't know, but you know, she set you on your path, right? Because you wouldn't have been able to afford to stay so long as you did. So your life could have been totally different had she said.
Different. And not only that, actually, when I arrived dormitory, I was able to hear the sound of playing rugby somewhere next to dormitory. So I just ran to the ground, and it happened to be the rugby ground of a junior high school next to the dormitory. And then under 12, under 13 boys playing rugby, and there was a coach who was coaching. So I took photos. This is the Welsh rugby. I wanted to see this one. And this coach came to me, come on, excuse me, what are you doing here? You know, one strange
Japanese man taking
photo without asking anything. Oh, I'm sorry. I came to Japan today, but I was so overwhelmed by the performance of Welsh national team 2 years ago, and I want to come. I want to learn Welsh rugby. And he said, "Oh, is it true? Okay, then I will take you to the best place to learn Welsh rugby. Jump on my car." And he took me the Cardiff College of Education, which is different from the University of Dormitory, but that was a very famous rugby university in Wales. So that was in one day of this happens, the September that 20 something I don't 17th of 1977. And so my life is completely different. So I was introduced to the Cardiff College of Education and met many friends. And eventually I stayed 2 years in Wales, which was not, I didn't expect at the beginning.
Amazing. I love that story of persistence, of taking advantage of those, and also, you know, sharing your dream, taking advantage of opportunities, and then sharing your dream with people, telling them. It's really powerful way to make things happen. So you stayed for 2 years, and then back to Japan. And I want to do a bit of a time jump to you know, you had a couple of pivots in your career as a teacher and working in publishing, and then, you know, really coming into Japanese Rugby Union from a more sort of operational leadership administration perspective. And I was talking before about the idea of, you know, how did it go from I described it as some guys sitting around in the pub after a rugby match going, you can tell me this is not what happened, but this is how the story I have in my head. Somebody should bring the Rugby World Cup to Japan. It's about time. Somebody should do this. And then Koji, you said, I'll do it. Yeah, it's me. So can you tell me about like that process? Was it a lightning bolt, or was it a long period of time? How did it play out?
Yeah, thank you for asking me that question. It is the beginning of my second story. That is you see, that all happened to the year 2003. And then the rugby popularity in Japan went down and down, because J League football was very popular. We are losing popularity.
Oh, it's always
And
football.
then,
You're getting in the way of you.
And if you remember that year 2002, the FIFA World Cup was held in Japan and Korea, and a huge success. And rugby football popularity is even getting more and more popularity is going to football, less popularity to rugby. At that time, I was a head of international relations in JRFU, Japan Rugby Football Union, and I was so disappointed. We have to stop this. And then FIFA World Cup 22 or 2 came, success. So I said to myself, let's bring Rugby World Cup someday. And this idea is not only by me. Some people was thinking the same thing, but nobody was brave enough to put in an agenda. Okay, in January 2003, there was a opening speech by our chairman, Japan Rugby chairman. At that time, the same year, JRFU starting top league, professional rugby league starting. He was going to make one speech about this. And he asked me the day before, Koji, do you have some interesting idea to say to add to my speech to make it more interesting? And I said to him, why don't you say Japan would like to host Rugby World Cup? Oh, okay, let's do it. And he said that in his opening speech, one day we'd like to host Rugby World Cup to Japan. And that became the newspaper's article the following day. And the two big commercial agents came to me. Oh, we read the article, Japan will host the Rugby World Cup. Is it true? We want to do something about it, Well, I said to him, Jesus, okay, we didn't even discuss in the Japanese board meeting. So you said that. They keep asking questions. What shall I? So, okay. I had to call up the CEO of International Rugby Board on the day. May I ask one question? Do you think it's possible Japan can host the World Cup in the future? Because 2003, Japan participated at only one winning, and we just kept losing all the games. There's no visibility, no trust. And this CEO, Mike Miller, said to me, well, it's not impossible. It may be a good idea to bring the Rugby World Cup to make it a truly global sports. And I said, okay, thank you for telling me. So I said to the JRFU board, IRB saying it's a good idea.
little change of the nuance there, but
And then on the JRFU chairman, president, okay, if IRB is saying that, let's make it seriously. And then this CEO, Mike Miller, said to me, oh, I can stop over to Japan when I travel to Singapore in summer. So he came to Japan, and we had a little press conference. And then it became even more, our dream became stronger. So let's do it properly. But it took us 1 year, so-called the study. Okay, how do you call it? The study to check if it's possible or not.
Oh, like a feasibility
study. Feasibility. Yeah, we had a feasibility study 1 year, how much money we can make, which stadium we can use.
Right.
The 2004, officially JRFU board decided to host Rugby World Cup. At that time for 2011, and later 2019, but 2011, we just aimed for 2011. All of a sudden, my life changed, became very, very busy. Oh, this is something I have to do. So that was the beginning.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I think that it is always happening. Yeah, when something successful happens, some people say, I started it, because, so of course there are several people who was involved, including chairman and president, but at the beginning was such a little speech in the January.
Right. And it's maybe one of those other lessons to take away from that is, again, putting that idea out into the world, and when people jump on it, the press is excited. Oh, it's not impossible, actually, that it would make rugby a truly world sport, a global sport, because it's definitely very geographically centered. So actually, when people start to go, hang on, yeah, this could happen, then it gives us confidence in the idea, right? That this might actually go right.
Yes, but to be honest, that once we declared we want to host World Cup, it was a very, very difficult thing. When I visited several rugby unions, major unions, they say, "Oh, there's no way," because they didn't trust us. It was very difficult to convince people. You need to get a vote to make it happen. So, but I think our attitude is just there's nothing to lose. Attitudes, there's nothing to lose even we don't get it. But let's try. One time, I went to Welsh Rugby Union, and we had a board meeting with Welsh Rugby Union. Okay, we are dreaming of having World Cup in Japan. All the board members say, "Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea." And then Japan played Wales. We lost 19-8-0, and then 98-0. And there's nobody want to look at us anymore. They just left home, because they don't want to speak to us. And then at night, I got a call from chairman who I knew very well, and then let's meet in a pub. And he said he'd be half drunk, and he said, "Just forget about World Cup Japan. There's no way you can get draft if you lose at 100 points nil. There's no way." And then so it is a big shock for us. But we have to carry on. Eventually, eventually it worked at the end.
Yeah, obviously, and it was like a huge success. But how did you? Because I think it was such a long process, and many challenges, and like building that trust. So how did you keep that sense of Ikigai around that topic? So many years.
Yeah. Because this 2003, we started the bid campaign, and the first vote was taken 2 years later, 2005, for 2011. We lost, and we did again 2009. We finally got the right of 2019 World Cup. So it took us 6 years to bring Rugby World Cup to Japan, to convince people. And it was difficult, because I myself was not sure if it is success or not. Actually, even the day before the opening game, 2019, we are not sure if it's success or not. Yeah, we are lucky if it's success, but no one can 100% sure if it's success or not. But you should keep working on it. So the first step is bring World Cup to Japan, but even more important step is to make a success. That's the second step. So, I remember those days. And once I remember those days, sometimes I cannot sleep well the night I spoke about this story because I was so excited about what happened, those bidding activities.
Well, one thing I can tell you from my experience, as I didn't go to a game, but I know many people who did, and spectators, everybody I spoke to said it was amazing, such a success. Every single person said it was outstanding and a brilliant sporting event. Hospitality was amazing, and Japan just did such a brilliant job. So thank you for your amazing contribution to that event. So
but just I remember now that one thing happened 3-4 days before the opening day, which convinced me we may have some miracle happen. That was a day when Welsh national team had a public training session in Kitakyushu. You see, Kitakyushu is a training camp for Wales, and the city government worked very hard to have several rehearsal of the citizens to sing Welsh songs and other things. On the day, 3 days before the opening game, they had a training session, and the city government expected maybe 5,000 people came to what should be lucky. Well, on the day, over 15,000 people came to the stadium. And what happened was when the Welsh national team players went to the pitch, 15,000 people start singing Welsh national anthem. Oh, so Welsh PR department, the Welsh national team, just took the video of 360 degrees.
Yeah.
And he or she mentioned a comment in a Twitter, look at this. We have no words. Something like that.
Yeah.
And so that's Twitter went all over the world. So when I saw that, I said to myself, something miraculous may happen to this World Cup.
Yeah.
Something miraculous. And then I found out this Rugby World Cup was held in an old foundation union before Japan. Because none of the unions, host citizens, sang the song of the opposition or other countries than his own countries. The Japanese did sing a song for Wales to welcome them. It is called Omotenashi.
Yes.
And then also, the Omotenashi is something which we are proud of, but that was symbolized because it's the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
I was very happy and lucky. And then one journalist, I think British UK journalist, Guardians, said in his article, Omotenashi is a very difficult word to translate in English because it's very different from hospitality. And he said, having in Japan for 4 weeks, if I try to put in English, in Japan, Omotenashi is doing your best to make your visitors happy, or more than that, something like that. Do his best, her best to make visitors happy, or even more than that, something like that.
Yeah.
You know. So I was that was beginning, and then also many interesting things happens all over part of Japan. Visitors, Japanese, got together.
Yeah. Yes, it was absolutely amazing. And I'm just reflecting. I remember at the end of the Rugby World Cup going, the Olympics is going to be fabulous.
Yes.
And then, of course, COVID.
Yes. Exactly.
So Rugby World Cup, great timing. Great timing.
It's just 2 or 3 months before COVID came in.
And I'm just thinking, you know, for all your colleagues, I'm sure there's many people you know who are involved in the Olympics, like just how hard it must have been for them in that timing and all of the challenges that they faced. But it really had got like the world was ready. You know, the Rugby World Cup was almost one of those trust building things, like can Japan handle this now? Does it have the infrastructure? So I think you also really built that amazing branding of omotenashi in action, which was of course an important part of the Olympic bid. I don't want to talk about the Olympics because there was also lots of scandal and other things going on, so we'll leave the Olympics to the side. And you mentioned when we were chatting beforehand, though, sort of maybe the Rugby World Cup hangover that you had. Many people after a rugby game have a different type of hangover after being in the tournament, but you had a different type of hangover. And I think you mentioned something about a dream that you had.
Yes, interesting that November the 3rd was the final of the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
But then after the final is over, the end of November, one day I woke up like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning and said, what time is it? Oh, today is the day of the final. I have to hurry up. You know, 3 weeks after the final is over, still I was dreaming about Rugby World Cup.
Still living it.
Yeah. So it took 6 years to bring it and 10 years before preparation.
Yeah.
And 2019 is everything in my agenda. So even after it is over, still I've been thinking about, is it true? Rugby World Cup successful? I may have been dreaming. It's true.
Yeah. It really
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then so it was the end of November. And then 2020 came in. In my calendar, there's no 2020 or even 2021, 2023, because 2019 was my goal.
Right.
Yeah. So I was not sure what to do. I didn't even plan what to do.
Mm. Yeah. So how did you process that to sort of move
Mm.
through?
Yeah, when I look back, there's something you can do, there's something you can't do. And maybe first 6 months after the Rugby World Cup was the time when I couldn't control myself.
Mm.
I'm just trying to let things go,
Right.
Not like having a rest, but just looking back the Rugby World Cup and then even think about what I should do next. It's very difficult to find out something you can do after you had such a big project
Yeah.
and everything looked very small. And then actually I lost myself in a
Mm.
sense. Well, I lost my health and I didn't have much to do. And then gradually the change started happening to my. For example, in August, one of the high schools sent me a letter say, could you become a part-time coach of a high school if you have some time? And then at one university asked me, can you do some part-time visiting professor only once a month? That kind of small things start
Mm.
coming in gradually.
Sort of a portfolio of little things that come up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I made a small rugby club, Shibuya International Rugby Club, 2 years before the Rugby World Cup came to Japan. At that time, I knew Rugby World Cup may come, but it finished very quickly. If I don't make this small rugby club, International Rugby Club, I wouldn't have no energy left after the Rugby World Cup. So I made it 2017,
Mm.
and the Rugby World Cup started with only 15 members, became 200 members after Rugby World Cup over.
Mm.
So but even running a small club was a small thing for me. But gradually I realized it doesn't matter whether what you're doing project is big or small. If you get into it, you can have the same enjoyment. So this is what I'm now. I'm focusing more about this small rugby club, how to make it better. And some of the children has already went to Australia, went to England, and they talk about my club. So if we think about 10 years' time, a lot of graduates will be all over the world. So it's a different dream and different scale, but still I regain the same passion as before these days.
Oh, that's so
Hmm.
so wonderful to hear. Because I
Yeah.
think, yeah, that idea that, yeah, of course, it's Rugby World Cup, this type of project. For most people, we never have anything on this scale in our lives at all. But for people like you, Koji, who have been involved in that massive scope, what is the other environment where you can have the same depth of feeling?
Hmm.
Because I think you shared in the speech which I heard you said maybe the next time the Rugby World Cup might come to Japan, like given all the politics and given all, what was
Yeah.
your estimation? It was like 2050 something?
Yeah. If the politics happens, it takes a long time for Japan to get another World Cup. So my conclusion: we should all live longer. We should keep our health.
Yes.
That was my, closing speech. Uh-huh.
And that,
But
I think that was what made me come and say, because in the West, often Ikigai is talked about from the perspective of longevity. It's a reason behind Japanese people living a long life. But something that you said to me in our prep call about that theme of like the importance of having something.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I think to answer your question about Ikigai, I could say this. Um, when I went to Wales, I played rugby in a college. I had a very interesting experience. I lost my first game in a rugby team.
Mm.
I was taking a shower, and my teammates asked me, Koji, did you enjoy today's game? And I said to myself, enjoy. Well, for me, enjoy in Japanese, 楽しむ, having fun. How could you have fun? Because we lost the game. Why he asked such a question? And then since then, I started to train myself in a weight training room. And next day in a dark weight room, I was doing weight training, very hard training. And then another player came in and he saw me, and we met again in the shower room. Koji, did you enjoy that weight training? Again, yeah, sure. So I couldn't translate the word of enjoy in Japanese. 楽しむ is a bit different. And afterwards, I realized, oh, enjoy means do your best what you like to do. Not because you're asked by somebody. If you like that, you can enjoy. Even it's hard training, even you lose your game, you can still enjoy your game. This is the most important message, the golden word I got from my experience from Wales. So this Ikigai, if I can summarize, this is the philosophy I have. Even you make mistake, you try to enjoy because you like it.
Right. So about doing the thing that you like. It doesn't matter how well you do it. It doesn't matter you win, you lose. Yeah, hard weight training. It's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like a fun, like just playing around, smiling. It's not like a fun that kind of, but it's like a feeling of achievement. If you want to do something, it's coming from your bottom of your heart. You want to do that, you enjoy if you achieve that. For example, if you play 100% in a game, if you lose, it simply means the opposition was stronger than you, and you have to accept it. You look at the scoreboard, you have to accept, but you try to enjoy every minute of the game until the final whistle. That was the attitude we should follow. Every single moment of the play you should enjoy. And the result is maybe the God makes the result, you have to accept, but the important thing is how you enjoy the game.
Right. Yeah. Every day.
So yeah. So I sometimes use this word when I'm giving this like a wedding anniversary. Koji-san, could you give us some words and say enjoy every moment of your life? That's starting from that. Something like that. That's I also keep telling myself something bad happens, I try to do it by myself.
So what are you enjoying in your life right now, Koji? Apart from our conversation, obviously.
Yeah, well, there are several things I enjoy, but if in a deep meaning of this my small rugby club, the Shibuya International Club, is more successful. I want to make it like a girls' team, or various variations. There are so many things I can still do, which other Japanese clubs haven't done it. But yeah, do you ask question about enjoyment with a small scale or a big scale? In
All
the big
scales.
scale,
All scales. Yeah. Are there any small scale things that you're enjoying right now in your life?
Yeah, every morning I woke up, first thing to do is make a little cup of cappuccino, and then starting how today is it going to start with a cup of cappuccino. That was the best moment for me. Yeah. So it looks like one day is like a life. When started a day, it's like when you're born, a lot of dreams and the future, what's happened. Lunchtime, and then when it comes to 2 or 3 p.m., you realize not much time left to me. It's like a middle-aged man. When at night, there's not much time left, as if you're an old man. But the good thing about your life is you have tomorrow, you can try again.
Yeah.
But if it's a life, you have to wait until the time you die at night. So it's like a cycle for me. Every day is just like a life. the morning time when I have a cappuccino. Today, I went out with cappuccino and the sun. The sunshine is also another favorite thing. Having cappuccino and the sunshine and think about all the possible dreams of the day. And that was my favorite moment at the now.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're recording in early March in Tokyo, and the first signs of spring are coming. The Kawasakura, the early sakura, is out, and we're getting this like sense of Hanami is on the way. The cold winter is over. It's a really like fertile and exciting time to start to put out those new shoots. Wonderful. So we're coming towards the end of our time together, Koji. So I have two final questions for you.
Yes.
The first one is, what is the question that I didn't ask, but I should have asked you?
Well, okay, you have asked most of the questions, but probably it's very similar to what you asked. Maybe what are your favorite things?
What are your favorite things, Koji?
Yeah. Apart from this cappuccino sunshine, I just said I like playing the guitar and bass. I like music a lot, to be honest. So when I have a time, I play. I wanted to be a guitarist when I was under 15. And I didn't become a guitarist, but because I played guitar at that time, when I became international rugby board members in Dublin, when I was bidding, I played the guitar and sung together with them. I became friends with them very easily. So anything will help you towards the end. So, and also I enjoy going to onsen, hot spring.
Hot springs, yeah.
Yeah, a relaxing time. And I like wine, champagne. I used to like beer when I was in Wales. Of course, they like beer. But now when I was getting older, you can't have too much beer. So I changed to wine and champagne. And recently, I like special coffee, a top-class coffee, with grinding.
Right.
And so,
Drip,
so this is, those are my favorite things. So today, maybe after this, I play a little bit guitar and then relax myself before I start my work today.
Wonderful. There you go. And just actually, Koji, hearing you list up your favorite thing, your whole face lit up, your energy was so light and exciting. So I think that's a great inspiration for everyone to, what are my favorite things? What do I really enjoy in life?
I really like the song. My favorite thing in it is The Sound of Music. Yeah, I also like that song as well.
Right, with your own lyrics. And my final question then for you, Koji, is, so now you have a chance to speak to all of the listeners of Ikigai with Jennifer Shinkai and give them your final message. So what's the one thing you would like them to take away from the conversation today?
Yeah, thank you for asking that one. It is difficult to give one word. Before I say that one, I say that life isn't always what one likes. This was the words I think used by Audrey Hepburn in Roman Holidays or something like in a movie. So I just say, I always think to myself, life isn't always what one likes. There's something you can't control. There are many things that happen, but I'll do my best to enjoy my life. Is my word. So there's something, when you do something, you have to expect that may not happen to you, but there is always a possibility that might happen. So I will do my best to enjoy my life.
Thank you. And yes, a great message to all of the listeners and people watching on YouTube as well, to do their best to enjoy their life. It isn't always what we want, but remember to make the phone call 3 times or send that email 3 times, be persistent, tell people about those goals, and start something small and see how it grows. Koji really is testament to persistence, to making something happen, to committing for a really long period of your life to something much bigger than yourself that brought so much joy to other people, and then, you know, taking all of that experience and putting it into another project on a different scale with different young humans who are going to be changing the world with really positive memories of their time in Japan as well. So thank you so much for your time today. It was so inspiring to talk to you, and I can't wait to see what you do next. I'm really excited for your next iteration of your life.
Yeah, maybe next month, if you have the same interview, I may start something different. So let's keep talking.
Yes, you are always welcome back. You are always welcome back, the friend of the podcast. Thank you so much, Koji, and I look forward to hearing what listeners think, what resonates for you. So feel free to drop a comment or drop an email to me as well. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.